It is June the 22nd, 5:02, and I just hit submit on my last submission for the Extreme Mustang Makeover. Because the event was moved to a virtual platform this year because of the coronavirus outbreak, we had to submit our videos online, and so what ended up happening was everything, all the dates changed and got moved around several times in different types of ways. And so our auction videos started to be due a month ago, and our competition videos were due today rather than Thursday. And so if you've been following along, you know that it's been a very slow, hard journey with Lady, and it was starting to look like we were going to have to drop out of the contest there for a little bit. But we stayed in. I'm going to go ahead and say that I am a very competitive person, and it's not something I'm necessarily proud of, but it's just how I am. I like to be kind of up towards the top of things, and that's not necessarily going to happen this year. We just did Lady's best. So this year we may not have had the highest of placings. We actually weren't able to even fully complete the patterns in some of the classes because they called for maneuvers and training that we have not had time to complete yet. And that's just because we had to take it a little slower with Lady. It took till day 60 to get the halter on, so she's only had 30 days of in-hand and on the halter training. And I believe this was her 7th ride today when we rode these classes. And by 7th ride, I don't mean full rides. I'm talking, I got on her, got off her, rode her around at the walk a little bit. And she really was not ready to leave the round pin at all. And it was quite nerve-wracking taking a horse that's not ready out into the kind of show-sized pin and riding through the patterns. I highly considered walking through on foot, but I decided to take the risk and get on her back and just ride her through that, and she handled it very well considering she'd never been out there. She barely steered and stopped before today. We worked on steering and stopping just enough to get through the pattern, and that's just how it's going to be this year because she needed the time and we didn't quite have the time. So the first class we entered was the in-hand, and she put down a nice solid run for me in the in-hand. She got a little bit nervous from time to time, but she tried. And we went through the pattern that included walking, trotting in hand, stops from the trot and from the walk, 6-step back, pivot, a 360-degree pivot, as well as a side pass to and away from handler. And like I said, she was pretty good for that. She tried her hardest for me. Sometimes she tries a little too hard, and that can get a little difficult sometimes, but we got through it. We went through our trail class, and we start out the pattern in hand, which we did. We lined up, we walked up to our spot where we mounted up, and I got on her back. And I'm able to get on her back now without having to use the chair and without having to fear her jumping around and dumping me. And that was something we were dealing with as little as 24 hours ago. So we worked really hard on just being able to get on. And we did that out in the big pin for the first time, and that's also a little scary. But I got on her and she was good. And then we wove through the cones. Our steering is iffy. She doesn't quite know how to accept the bit yet, but she went on the side of the cone I wanted and she stayed walking, which was good. She got uncertain over by the neighbor's dogs, and there was someone up on a ladder adjusting bird feeders, and she was scared of that, but she still kept going for me. We made it over the logs and the bridge, and she stopped right when I told her to on the side pass pull. I got a little bit of lateral motion out of her that I wasn't expecting. No, we didn't have full engagement of the haunches, but I got a tad bit of shoulder movement there, so I was okay with that. And then we walked down, stopped at the stop cone, took the bit out. She was a little bad about that, just a little mouthy on the bit, but she's learning about it still. She's very, very green on that. Like I said, she has less than 30 days of training where I'm actually able to touch her. So 30 days ago, she really wasn't even halter broke. So I'm happy with where we're at the moment. Moving on to the freestyle, it was interesting. So normally in the adult division, you do not train a freestyle unless you are a top 10er. And as things were going, the whole I didn't have a halter on her till day 60 thing, I didn't think I was even close to top 10. And so I didn't have any plans to do freestyle. However, with the virtual format of the contest, we had to submit one just on case. Because of the way their platform is set up, they need to have the submission a week ahead of time, and they won't know who's top 10 a week ahead of time. So we had to go ahead and submit a freestyle, and I didn't have anything prepared for it really. We had some stuff already around the farm, and I already had a shirt, and so we decided to use that. But even going past the shiny barrels and wearing the flowy shirt was a really big deal for ladies. So we had to work for quite a while on getting her to wear flowy fabric on her. I tied a tablecloth to her and let her run around in that, and she thought that was the scariest thing in the world at first. It took her a couple weeks. There was actually one moment where she got running so fast and she flipped herself over on it. And so she had to get over that. But she did all right. She stayed nice and calm and responsive, again, out in the large field, which she's not used to working in. She got some nice side passes in, a good pivot. She's a really obedient horse. When you ask her to do something, if she understands what she wants, she does it with very little pressure and very little argument. And so I was really happy with the way she performed today. So the auction is going to be on Saturday. I believe it's the 27th of June. And all that information is available at extrememustangmakeover.com. But the bidder applications are due tomorrow on the 23rd. So everybody needs to get over there and file for their bidding number if they're planning on bidding on any of the horses in the auction. There are so many different horses of so many different levels of training that it's really worth going and checking them out. But as for Lady, she is probably not as far along as I would have liked to see, but the difference in her is remarkable. She has gone from being one of the most flighty horses we've been around to just being friendly. She's got her head over the stall door. She nickers every time we come in the barn. And she's got a very soft, docile personality and temperament when she's not worried. And she's worrying less and less every day. She's finally getting going under saddle just a little bit. I'm going to continue working with her this week until the auction. Even though the contest is over, I'd like to get her as far as I can and just see what she's going to do in that time. And I'm really excited for whoever gets her. She's just going to be a really nice horse. She's going to require a lot more time, a lot more training, and patience. But she's come a long way. Check out the description down below for more information if you're at all interested in Lady.